guys, welcome to my channel. My name is ReadingBear and I hope you are ready for some more stories. And today, we'll take a look at some new I Don't Work Here Lady content. If you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comment. And now, let's dive right into the stories.
The first story is titled Started Badly, Ended Wholesome. Well, this isn't a terrible story and it happened back in like 2016. But I have been seeing more wholesome posts here and thought I would share mine. Maybe it's just because of the state of the world, but gotta break up the doom scrolling somehow. So this will be my official first post here and probably my only one. May it bring you a smile. Backstory. I used to work for Walmart. I was a cashier for 2 years before the customers finally pressed on some raw and untreated nerves and I ended up having to take my call-out points. I got hired at another place pretty quickly though. My husband, fiancé at the time, still worked at the same Walmart and it's close to our apartment so I shopped there. This takes place back before Walmart had the new clothing policy. The story. I was about a month into my new job and as luck would have it, the place I worked for also wore blue polos and khaki pants. The difference is I didn't have a vest and where the Walmart name tag would be was the logo of where I currently worked. As well as my badge on a lanyard. Something the Walmart employees didn't have. The other option for Walmart was a white polo, which means even if I took off my uniform shirt, I would still look like a Walmart employee since I was only allowed to wear white undershirts at my new job. Anyway. I had just gotten off for the day and stopped by my old Walmart on my way home to pick up some groceries for dinner and walk home with my husband since we got off usually within an hour of each other. Plenty of time to get the shopping started while he finished up. So, off I went. I took my cart and was just wandering around the aisles, killing time when I heard the wild call of an irritated human behind me. Scooting the cart to the side, because I clearly didn't think she meant me, I smiled politely and apologized thinking I had blocked her path. Nope. This lady went off on me. Now this wasn't the first or last time I had someone go off on me thinking I worked at Walmart because the obvious blue and khaki uniform mix up, so I just stood there and took her rant. Honestly I don't even know what she said. I just blank stared off into space and imaged her as a llama or something. I can't remember. I just know I stood there listening until about the tail end when she said, "You're the 5th employee I have asked to help me find and of them 2 walked off and said they weren't clocked in. Now you're shopping. On your break." She paused and I could see her eyes had been looking for my name tag when she realized the logo on it. She blanked for a moment and then sighed. It was a complete 180. She apologized. Having realized I didn't work here at all, and was just a customer, she relaxed and just seemed frustrated with herself and the whole situation. I totally get that. I have been there. Since she apologized I let her know I used to work at this Walmart and I would be happy to help. So I took her to the laundry aisle and found what she needed. She thanked me and was just so apologetic. Apparently she had been going to several stores trying to find this brand and they either didn't carry it or they were out and she had just had a super long and bad day. She thanked me and went on her way. I totally understood her frustration. If she hadn't read my polo and realized her mistake, I probably would have just walked off myself and such. But she caught herself and I wanted to show her appreciation for that. The story probably isn't as funny as others other than me spacing out, but I thought y'all might enjoy it. After that, about a year into my new job I think, Walmart started adapting a new uniform policy, so I didn't get mistaken as much. They also remodeled and rearranged everything so my prior knowledge made me useless. I couldn't even find my own way around anymore. Ha. The next story is titled A Bit of an Unusual One, with a language barrier, or not. Lurked here for years. Yesterday it finally happened to me. I'm English but live in the Algarve, southern Portugal. I've been here for a couple of years now and speak a bit of Portuguese, but am not fluent. Still, I know enough to get by and tend to use it in shops, etc., because even though most people in the Algarve in a customer-facing role speak excellent English, I figure it's impolite to not make the effort to use Portuguese given I moved here. So on with the story. It was a glorious day yesterday and my partner and I decided to take a drive up into the mountains to a lovely little town that is famous for brewing the local moonshine, rocket fuel. This is a spirit called medronjo, and is made from a fruit that allegedly tastes a bit like strawberries, allegedly, but grows on a bush that is often found growing wild around here. There's a long tradition of farmers owning stills of dubious legality, and the government turns a blind eye because it doesn't want to kill the tradition. In this town there's a shop dedicated exclusively to Medranho, and we wanted to check it out. We arrived, parked up, and it was closed for lunch, so went and had a cup of tea in a nearby cafe, then returned to find it open, and an older American couple browsing the shelves. I saw what I wanted, a mix of Medranho and honey that I was keen to try, and said to the shopkeeper, SK, in Portuguese, "Good afternoon, I'd like to buy a bottle of this please." She replied in perfect English, which happens a lot, and we conducted the rest of the transaction in a mix of English and Portuguese. I swiped my Apple Watch on the card reader and was waiting for the receipt when the American guy, Ag, behind me spoke to me. Ag. Excuse me, do you speak English? Me. Yes, I speak English. Ag. Can you tell me, what is gestures around this? Me. It's a spirit called Medranho, distilled from a tree that's sometimes called a strawberry bush, but the lady here, indicating the shopkeeper, can tell you more about it. SK. Medranho is a schnapps that's distilled locally and Ag. Interrupting. She won't talk to me. Is it a local speciality? Me. It is a speciality of the Algarve, yes, but you're better off speaking to the lady here who clearly speaks perfect English. SK gives me a look as if to say, can you believe this crap is actually happening? And I give her my own look, as if to say, I cannot believe this crap is actually happening, and I got nothing. Ag, again, to me. Which would you recommend? Now understand that I have just bought the third bottle of this stuff that I have ever bought in my life, and the first one was cheap and rank. I know next to nothing about Medranho, and SK is a literal expert who has been trying to talk to him, in perfect English the whole time, while he constantly interrupts her to ask me questions. SK looks utterly exasperated. Me. I know nothing, I'm just a customer. Me, to SK, in Portuguese. Thanks, good afternoon and goodbye. And then I turned and ran away. I wonder if he ever actually started listening to her? The next story is titled Guy Wants Me to Wait When He Is Blocking My Driveway. The house next to mine is empty and for sale. The previous owner died from old age, and the real estate agent let people walk around the property and look around. I live in a rich area with nice houses, and they attract snobs who want to move there. I just got home from school after a 3-hour final exam, so I was tired. I bike to school every day, and because of Corona, my school has 3 days a week online. I live in Sweden, and we didn't have a lockdown. Unfortunately, I had to bring almost every textbook home, which made my backpack very heavy. All of this got me in a bad mood. So, when I get home, I see this big BMW parked right in front of my driveway, taking up the whole street. It's very narrow. I get off my bike and lead it toward the mailbox to signal that I live there. They don't see me. I try again and they see me, but they just ignore me. Now I'm pissed, so I go up to their window and knock. The man rolls it down and asks in a snarky voice. Man. What? Me. Excuse me, you're parked in front of my driveway, and I can't get in. Man. Sure, like you live here. Me. Yes, I do, and I can't get my bike in. Man. Even if you do live here, you just must wait. Besides, you should be grateful that we are interested in this house. He said that like I should be in awe of his presence. He rolled his window back up before I could retort and continued looking at the house. At this point I'm tired, I'm pissed, and I just want to sleep, so I start forcing my way through. The man opens the window and shouts. Man. Are you crazy? Me. Move or your car will get damaged. He honks as loudly as he can, but I continue. He starts the car and aggressively drives off. I park my bike and go to sleep. The next story is titled Why Are You Harassing Me? This story isn't super crazy like some I've heard on here, but I still thought I would share. I was about 10 minutes away from leaving my job at the local adult shop. I was putting my coat and earmuffs on and standing aside while my coworker counted in their tills so I could leave. As they did this, a woman entered the shop and tried to dart into the arcade. Anytime someone tries to rush in there without being seen by us is usually a red flag, so she caught my eye. I noticed she didn't have a face mask and was carrying a bag. We hold all bags while you're in the store. I approached her and asked if she had a face mask and if I can take her bag up to the front. Admittedly, I was wearing a coat, but it was open and the blue of the store uniform could clearly be seen on me. The woman glared at me and said, "You don't even work here, why do you care?" I try to explain myself, but she cuts me off. demanding to know why I'm harassing her, and that she'll get the manager if I don't duck off. This is where I politely inform her that I am the assistant manager of this store. Her face got really red and she immediately started stuttering an apology. I told her that I'd be happy to also grab the manager, but that since this is an adult shop, I'll need to verify her ID before she takes a step further into the store. She doesn't have her ID, so I ask her to leave. Not a climatic ending, but hey, be careful who you snap at. The next story is titled Yes, I'm Your Son's Teacher. Today I was reminiscing with a friend of mine. She used to be an intern of mine, but we became friends after she left and we still hang out from time to time. We started talking about funny things that happened to us in our teaching career up until now. I'm a woman, 5'2" and look younger than I really am. It's nice now, but hearing, "You can only buy alcohol when you are 18 feet" was depressing since I was 26 at the time of the remark. Since getting my degree at 23 I have been teaching. This happened when I was 27 years old and on the same day. First incident. One of my classes had ended, and since it was my last one of the day I decided to get some groceries done as I would have parent-teacher conferences that night. As I walked towards a shared office space to put away some things and grab my coat, I was apprehended by a parent who had their meeting with a teacher earlier in the afternoon. Parent: "You shouldn't be here, you are supposed to be in class." Me: No, I finished my classes already." Parent: No, don't you lie to me. You are coming with me and we are going to sort this out." Then, I kid you not, this parent grabbed me by the elbow and dragged me to a classroom with a teacher. I was stunned and unable to say anything at that time. So this lady opens the classroom door and demands from the teacher to know in which classroom I'm in, as I was found wandering the halls. In the meantime, my vice principal got closer to us as he had seen what this parent was doing. My coworker laughed and said he didn't know. Parent was stunned when the class said, "Hi Ms. Op." Before parent could say anything, my vice principal told us to come with him. So off we go to his office, where parent was informed that it was frowned upon to harass and touch not only students but employees of the school as well. Parent didn't want to believe him that I was a teacher, but when shown a wall with pictures of the staff, they left the office silenced and ashamed in search of the teacher they were here for. The second incident was later that night. I was waiting for my last meeting with parents when I saw them show up. So I walked out of the classroom I was in and went to them to introduce myself. Parents: "Oh, how nice of you to welcome us. We are here for a meeting with Ms. Op. Tell her we're here." For the second time that day I stood confused. They didn't believe me and scoffed. "You can't possibly be our son's teacher." After 10 minutes of me trying to convince them and them getting haughtier, I called my vice principal and told him to come here. He introduced them to me. Their response: "Well, how could we take you seriously with how you look?" To which my vice principal told them that people were employed because of their qualities, not their appearance. Lovely day it was, and funny years later. The next story is titled I Am the Manager. No, it's not free. I was working as a shift manager for Pizza Hut. Small town and declining store. We had a policy to give it away. Anything wrong, then we gotta give whatever we wanted for free. Orders from the owner. Now I was in the running for the store assistant position, so I was getting trained for it. Learning to order inventory, submit financials, set up shifts, etc. Honestly, it was a great gig. I made it a point though, to only do giveaways to things that were logical. Messed up pizza, etc. Because frankly we were hemorrhaging money from them. Well, being in a small town at the only cheap pizza place made us short-staffed. No problem for me since I'd do any of the work needed right beside any of my staff. Well, one night it's busy dinner time and some event is going on. FB game, tractor show or some country thing, so we are swamped. Phones ringing off the hook, oven backed up by 6 or more pizzas. Yes, we could make them, but we couldn't speed up the oven. So one of my waitress picks up one of the phones while running like chicken. Serious props to all my staff. Starts her greeting while serving customers at the till. Lady on the phone interrupts her mid-greeting, demanding to speak with a manager. My worker calls my name and shakes the phone at me. So I grab it, held it on my shoulder while I'm cutting and boxing pizzas as fast as the oven will give to me in a busy pizza place on a busy night. Great, what pizza needs remade and where is it going? So I start my line. Thank you for choosing Pizza Hut. What seems to be the issue? I have been calling for 3 minutes. Short pause. Okay, what seems to be the issue? I have been calling for 3 minutes now. And I need, proceeds to tell me her order, it's for delivery. Okay, yada yada. Apologize for waiting 3 minutes more. Standard stuff. We get to, okay, and will you be paying cash or card? She says, I'm not paying, it's free. Awkward silence. I'm sorry. But in order to get these pizzas, you will need to pay. No, I'm not going to pay. I waited for 3 minutes. This is free and those pizzas will be here in 45 minutes since you're so busy. And she hangs up. WTF? Well, in my book that's not a free order. We have an almost 2-hour backup of orders now because we literally cannot cook them any faster. First come first serve. And I'm definitely not sending my driver out there. We country folk can be pretty damn crazy. I have no idea what to expect, but my bones can feel that this will not be the end of it. Well, rest of the night goes pretty smoothly, all things considered. Business finally slowed. We could take care of dishes and closing stuff. My bestie is actually one of my cooks, and at this point it's just me and him in the store. I am closing down. Doors are locked and I am counting down the till when I hear banging at our door. I look up and there's a woman just banging away on it. I gesture at my wrist and mouthing closed and I try to convey every way to simply say GTFO, I don't want to deal with you. Can't be that simple, eh? I tell my buddy to get on the line with non-emergency and let them know we might have a situation. While I point at the back. He gets the message and steps into the kitchen to call while I go try to figure out what her deal is, but I knew what her deal is and who she was. The only way to get words between us was to open that goddamn door. I didn't want to. But I am the one in charge and I gotta figure out how to keep her from putting a rock through the glass, so with great hastestatnian, I unlock the door. She steamrolls through the door, literally knocking me down, and I am a 250 pounds guy. I was in shock. What the hell just happened and why am I on the ground? By the time I get back to my feet, she's at the till damnating to speak with a manager. I take a few deep breaths, take a few extra seconds to slowly brush myself off. Casually walk over and say, hi, my name is Tazeaho, I am the manager, and we are closed. I must ask you to leave. Otherwise I will have you escorted off the premise. Premises, SP. Don't think I have ever typed that word. Where are my pizzas? I'm sorry, what pizzas? I would be glad to help you, but unfortunately we have been closed for looks at clock 40 minutes now. My pizzas. They were supposed to be delivered 4 hours ago. I'm not sure. Our driver confirmed that all orders were delivered. But unfortunately we are closed and there isn't anything I can do about this. Well, I want to speak to the manager. I am the manager and you need to leave the store. By this moment I can hear my buddy in the back working on getting those dishes cleaned. So I know it won't be long because as slow and lazy as the cops are around here, when it's a business that needs help, you might as well be calling about a school shooter. I'm trying to think what would be the best way to bide for time. And I am glancing up the road and I see those god-of-fool LED headlights that only the PD vehicles have barreling towards us. No flashers, so that was a bit of a disappointment. I just keep repeating the "we are closed, can't help you" while once the officers get out of the SUV I motion them in. She is just yelling constantly about the injustice in the world and having to wait for her pizza while the officers casually walk up behind her. One of the officers go, "Excuse me ma'am," with some authority but not loud or rude. She just keeps ranting, not even hearing him. The other officer says a bit louder, "Excuse me ma'am." She yells, "What?" before she even turns around. As soon as she sees the badge, pure silence. Just dead quiet. I hear the dishes start juggling around in the back again and can't help but laugh inside knowing my buddy wants to see this. It's a bit fuzzy from here. She gets arrested after I explain the situation for disorderly conduct and assault after the cops saw the footage from her barging in. She wasn't irate anymore, but she just wouldn't drop the whole "you owe me pizza" thing. The cop did have to seriously ask if she paid for a pizza and I said, no, she expects a free one. All in all, it caused me to get off about 15 minutes late and she ends up in TH tank overnight. I'd call that fair. Turned out she was drunk, but I did drop the charges for assault but stated that she was pretty disorderly. Ended up with just a fine, I do believe. It fizzled out pretty fast. ANBD, she actually did come back to apologize. However, the GM was there when she showed up, not me. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and post